but the things that live there.
Hello, Daddy.
They come back.
How does it feel to join kind of this shining fandom after so many decades after the release of the movie?
Over the many years and probably the 100 times I've revisited that film in my life, the idea that I would ever kind of be part of the legacy of the Overlook Hotel in any way, I wouldn't have believed it. So this is all very surreal, and it's an incredible honor.
Stop the sleep you can see without seeing The Shining, but obviously the characters travel through, but there are new threats, there are new milieus, there are new, everything's sort of new, set on the stones of something that has happened.
Was there anything during the filming or even watching it for the first time that actually truly terrified you?
Usually it was just fun, mostly fun. I know, that's weird, it's a horror set, but it was a lot of fun. The one thing that did kind of get me was Miss Massey. I was terrified when she had her teeth all painted, but as a peace treaty, as I won't scare you, you won't scare me, we did the Macarena.
You can hear me. You're magic. Like me.
I don't know about magic. I always called it The Shining.
What elements do you think, we are a movie theater after all, make this such a great movie to watch in a theater?
You can't watch this anywhere else than in the theatre. Just no. The scale, the largeness, the being lonely, the overlook, the sound, the woods, you can't feel that on your home screen.
The psychological thriller genre is still a genre where people go and see it in the cinemas, because there's nothing like being frightened with a bunch of people in a cinema and jumping out your seat with everybody and popcorn flying in the air. It's scary to watch, obviously, and I watched it with my daughter Jamian, and she watched it but behind my arm. So I watched it in the cinema like this, as she held my arm in front of her face like this, and she just watched the whole movie like that.
Can you describe what was like the collaborative process? Did you have a conversation with Stephen King?
Stephen, I think, because of The Shining, because of his experience with Kubrick, there was a robust discussion with him about, bringing the story back into the cinematic universe of Kubrick, which he had very strong feelings about. Once we had his blessing, and without it I wouldn't have done the film at all, but once we had that, he then very intentionally backs away. In the movie, he wants to be yours, for better or worse. And as Stanley Kubrick learned, he's not going to be shy if he doesn't like what you did. That's where kind of the big panic came for me. But thankfully, he loved the film, and it's completely surreal.
The world is a hungry place, a dangerous place.
These people, they hurt people like us.
Mr. King writes so impeccably well, and his description of character is all on the page. So it's all down to how much can I use.
I'm a constant reader. I've been a Stephen King fanatic since I was a kid. He's my hero. One of the things that always was difficult for me to reconcile was kind of this distance that existed between the novel The Shining and Kubrick's film. As someone who idolized both of these men so much and kind of loved both of these visions of the story, it was always really difficult for me to reconcile in my head. It was daily anxiety and the most pressure I felt day to day.
The world does not deserve Mike Flanagan. He's so sweet. He gave us so much creative freedom, which I'm so grateful for. He had a meeting with me and Mr. Ewan, and he talked to us about our characters, asked if we wanted to add anything, and I am so happy I got to work with him. He's so talented. He's amazing.